7 Craziest Things Found by Airport Security. Not a day goes by where airport security workers don't have a crazy story to tell. It seems like someone's always trying to smuggle something into a country, or a strange animal has been found, where it shouldn't be, from dead snakes to drug-filled shampoo bottles. Here are 7 craziest things found by airport security. Number 7. Gun-shaped toilet paper holder. Toilet roll holders in the average bathroom are pretty dull. I mean, they're functional, but the ones you buy from your local bathroom store are nothing to write home about. That might be why a man decided to purchase one that looked like a gun. He might have been on holiday somewhere new when he bought it and didn't think twice about popping it in his bag and heading to the airport for a flight back home. However, the TSA was less than impressed when his luggage was screened replica, and real guns aren't allowed through security checkpoints. So, even though it could do nothing more than spin toilet paper, the man was given a choice to surrender it to the TSA, give it to a companion who wasn't traveling, or place it in a checked bag. I guess he decided to just have a boring toilet paper roll holder in his home because he decided to surrender it to the TSA. The man didn't get in trouble, and a tree with each branch containing a roll. Number 6. Cocaine-filled shampoo bottles. It might have been a drug dog that alerted authorities to a man carrying liquid cocaine, or the fact that very few people would be traveling with 24 bottles of shampoo. Something was definitely unusual, and that's why the US Customs and Border Protection officials pulled the 26-year-old Colombian citizen aside as he collected his checked bags at George Bush Intercontinental Airport. Upon questioning the man, they performed a baggage exam and found 24 full-sized bottles of shampoo that were filled with a liquid substance. Now, the shampoo bottles were sealed and looked just like shampoo, but the liquid inside was not. Instead, they contained 35 pounds of liquid cocaine worth more than $400,000. According to some online sources, turning cocaine into a liquid with solvents has become a popular way to transport it. It can then be converted back to powder. The radiologic properties of liquid cocaine may differ from that of powder, making it harder to detect. However, Customs and Border Protection workers aren't stupid. They take every opportunity to intercept illicit goods and have found it smuggled in a variety of ways, such as in toys and even tacos. Officers have processed over 1 million passengers and confiscated nearly 5,000 pounds of narcotics, and the liquid cocaine was taken to the Houston Police Department. Number 5. Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie prop. What would you do if you saw a corpse being rolled through a security checkpoint? People were both intrigued and a little bit horrified when they saw a terrifying-looking corpse being wheeled up to a checkpoint at Atlanta International Airport in a wheelchair and being carefully moved through the screening machine. Fortunately, the corpse wasn't actually real. He was the movie prop of Newman Sawyer from Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre. According to a TSA spokesperson, the prop was possibly the strangest thing they had ever seen at a checkpoint, but rather than being thrown in with the rest of the luggage, the lucky prop had a plane ticket and would be taken a seat like everyone else. The prop body of Newman Sawyer is owned by Augusta man Jason Guy, who purchased it from a prop maker. He said it was the first horror movie he saw as a kid, and he had built up a collection of memorabilia from the film, including a chainsaw. However, he said nothing compared to Nubbins. A TSA agent posed with the prop. When they arrived at their destination, everyone got off the plane and Nubbins got to wait behind for a photo shoot with the pilot. Number 4. Human skulls. If you can't take as many liquids as you would like onto a plane, what makes people think they can take human skulls? Surprisingly, there have been several instances of this happening, and before you ask, they did get caught. Firstly, TSA agents searched the bags of 2 women at Fort Lauderdale, only to discover human skull fragments located in the bottom of a flower pot. The pieces weren't a security threat, but screening did slow down due to the area becoming a crime scene. According to the women in later reports, they had only just purchased the pots from Cuba in a religious shop and didn't know what was inside, even if they had a few guesses. Human remains probably weren't at the top of the list. According to a sheriff's office spokesperson, they also stated that both pots were sealed when they purchased them. That seemed like a reasonably innocent situation, but they aren't all like that. In 2006, a woman from Miramar, described as a voodoo priestess, was arrested when customs found a skull in her carry-on luggage as she returned from Haiti. Apparently, it had been used to repel evil spirits in religious rituals under federal law. It's a crime to import human remains for educational or medical purposes without a death certificate. Number 3. A chainsaw. The TSA is actually bewildered by what people think they can bring on planes. Even in 2021, with so much information available on the internet, people still try to carry potentially harmful items on board with them, such as chainsaws. Even if you don't intend to start a chainsaw up mid-flight, that doesn't mean you can be trusted not to do that. That's why chainsaws and other weapons must go in your checked luggage. You can't attempt to hurt someone with it, and no one wants to be cut up with a chainsaw on a plane because they're hogging the armrest. According to the TSA website, saws including cordless portable power saws are suitable to be placed in checked luggage as long as they are sheathed or securely wrapped to protect inspectors and baggage handlers. If you have petrol-powered chainsaws, these must be purged of fuel and left for some days to allow the fumes to leave the engine. They must also be clean. Purging fuel from your chainsaw before flying is an easy process. Drain the tank, remove the air filter, and spray WD-40 down the carb until it dies. Let it sit for a few hours and put dry laundry soap in a sock attached to a zip tie to absorb any vapors. Label it as being drained and purged. Put it in a box and fasten it. Number 2. Severed heads. In 2010, Southwest Airlines employees at Arkansas Airport were likely in utter shock when they discovered up to 60 human heads and parts of heads. The heads had been wrapped up with duct tape and put in plastic containers. Once they were found, the TSA and local police were alerted to commence an investigation. According to investigators, the heads appeared to be medical specimens. However, they were not placed on ice or refrigerated. After an investigation, it was found that the heads had been shipped by Conway, Arkansas-based medical research company JLS Consulting LLC to Fort Worth, Texas. Based medical device company, Medtronic. Pulaski County Coroner Garland Camper said the heads hadn't been appropriately labeled and the documents for the plastic containers didn't actually specify what was inside. JLS founder Janice Hepler said the heads were being used in a continuing education program for physicians. Companies would charge fees to prepare and transport bodies for educational purposes. A Medtronic spokesperson said there were only 4 embalmed cranial specimens and the other body parts consisted of pairs of temporal bone, ear blocks. The same spokesperson also said they don't know why they were wrapped in duct tape and weren't appropriately labeled. Number 1. Tiger cub. I have just 2 words to say about a tiger cub being smuggled in check-in luggage. People suck. In 2010, a Thai woman was caught trying to smuggle a 2-month-old tiger cub out of Thailand from the Suvarnabhumi airport in Bangkok to Iran. She had sedated the cub and positioned it among soft toy cubs to make it blend in. However, her oversized bag was suspicious as she had difficulty with it. At check-in, an X-ray showed what looked like a real animal. When the real cub was discovered sedated in the back, wildlife officers were called in. It was then taken into care at the Rescue Center of the Department of National Parks. At that point, authorities were also trying to work out if it was captive bred or wild. The woman was later identified as 31-year-old Pioneer, and she was arrested for her brazen act of wildlife smuggling. She would face a $1,300 fine and up to 4 years in prison on 2 charges. The problem is these penalties may not be harsh enough. Southeast Asia Deputy Regional Director for Traffic Chris Shepard said regular monitoring and harsher penalties might be required because if people are trying to smuggle live tigers in their luggage. Also check out our other cool stuff showing up on screen right now.